gosh, I'm going to tell you something. This is a moment for me. I have a friend who's sitting next to me named Russ Russell. He is the husband of one of my dearest friends in the world. And when I talk to Russ Russell, he can inhale on the phone and I start laughing. And so I've asked him to come in here today because he's such an experienced entrepreneur, but he also loves horse racing and he also knows about how to teach us how to bet on the races. Is that true?
I wouldn't bet.
You wouldn't bet?
No, the odds are against you.
And here you come in and you hear us talking about all the things that we're talking about.
Tell what you said about Advil. When we were talking about...
I just thought it was strange that you, if you're a parent, you have to send a note to school before your kid can take an Advil, and they have to go to the nurse and let them give it to them, but they can go to the drugstore and get the
Plan B pill.
the Plan B pill when they're 15.
Interesting. Interesting
Crazy.
point.
Good point.
Anyway, let's talk about the Derby. You train and own quarter horses,
Right.
Which is different. That's a quarter-mile run, right?
Right.
All right. So the Derby thoroughbreds, do they run the same way?
Well, they run a mile and a quarter.
Okay.
They sort of gallop the first mile, and then they run hard the last quarter, and the quarter horses just start out and run fast from the beginning.
Okay. So on this Derby coming up, what is a trifecta?
Trifecta.
Trifecta.
Is a bet that you pick the first three in a row.
Men play show?
Yeah.
But you're going to pick the top, like, so 1, 2, and 3. Do you have to pick them in order, or
In
you
order.
just pick?
On a trifecta.
Oh, I wish it was just like all 3.
And that's the big
Or you
winner
can
usually.
box them and do that.
Oh.
How do you mean?
Say you think 4, 6, and 8 are the 3 best horses. You put them in a box, and it doesn't matter which order they come in. They all.
Yeah, like what I was saying. I want to just pick the top 3, but I don't know what order they're going to come in.
Oh,
on.
so
So
win
less money.
Then you box them, and you pay more money.
You pay more money to do that
Yeah.
because you're.
Yeah.
Your
So who do you
odds are
like in the Derby?
who should we be rooting for?
I've never been to the Derby. I'm just.
Well,
a
what are you
Texas-
doing here?
I don't know. I have no.
Because you invited us, like, because you love me, Susie.
I don't know why.
He's like, you got me.
You know
got
what
me.
though? I do think that what you do is fascinating, and raising horses and training and getting them ready to race. Is it a heartbreaking business in ways?
You've got to be a little stupid to own horses because
It's like owning a vineyard, right?
Yeah,
A winery.
I mean, you've got to really like the horses and like being around them because the owners pay the horseshoers, they pay the veterinarians, they pay the entry fees, they pay transportation fees, they pay the jockeys, they pay the trainers, and your chances of making money owning a racehorse is about 10%.
So
What's the
Are
entry
races-
fee for the Kentucky Derby? Do you have any idea?
You have to pre-enter, and I don't know what it is, but you have to be eligible to actually make
Hundreds
it.
of thousands? Or-
No, I don't think so that much.
Are races fixed?
How are they fixed if it's a horse?
Oh, well,
Honey, there's a
if you ever see
jockey
a
riding the
jockey's
horse.
wife going to the one that's making a big bet on a claiming race, which is the bottom of the barrel of the racing business, there's 3 levels. It's the stakes races, and then the allowance races, and the claiming races, and they usually run that in the 10th race. And if you see a jockey's wife take a big pile of money and go up to the bet, follow her and bet on that horse in the last race.
Give us horse racing for dummies for the Kentucky Derby if we want to watch it with friends or we want to go out to the course here, the track here.
Lone Star Park.
Lone Star.
It's a social thing. I mean, it's a big social.
I'm all about the
It's
hat.
the Super Bowl of.
Do we pick? But do we pick based on the name that we like? Do we like the number
People
that the
pick for
jockey's
every
wearing?
reason in the world. If a gray horse or a black horse, or they like the fact the jockey's got the most wins at the track that year, or the trainer has the most wins. All that statistical is available. It's all available in the racing form. And it'll tell you how fast the horse ran in his last 5 races. You compare that. There's every reason in the world. That's why
I would probably pick based off of which name is interesting. Like there's the one racing
That's
this
what a lot
year
of people
called
pick on
Overanalyzed. Like so that would probably be the one I
And
would
listen,
pick.
guys, I've been to the Kentucky Derby.
You have? Did you wear a hat?
Guess what? I was the guest of Colonel Harlan D. Sanders. Kentucky Fried Chicken. I
yes.
spent 5 days
Really?
at the Derby. I did.
They
You
say
spent
it's
5
phenomenal.
days with the Colonel?
I did.
They say it's
that's
phenomenal.
But I'll tell you what, the Colonel wasn't nearly as fun as.
well, don't bet on a horse named Tripod. That's
Named what?
Tripod.
Tripod.
Yeah.
On that note,
On that note, there's your horse. Did you see where it was?
Listen, I'll tell you what. I want to say one thing about this guy. He was with the Dallas Cowboys for 47 years. He took all the pictures of the cheerleaders. He started
That's a
the
tough
Dallas.
job. Jeez.
He also had Cotton Eye Joe's. Many of you remember Cotton Eye Joe's back in the 80s and 70s
70s.
and the 80s. And this guy has been everything. He is my friend. He is no expert, as I've just learned, on horse racing at the Kentucky Derby. But I just wanted you to meet him, and we'll be right back.
Thank